Rizuber here, and here we are, week 2, UGL, against Lambo, Waterloo Mienfus. Now, I personally know Lambo. He is one of my good friends, from the Pokemon community. Um, he is a very good player, I will say that. So, we're gonna have to play really smart against him. We can't do what we did last time, last week. We actually have to be on our toes. And on top of that, he has a very good team. Tapu Lele, Keldeo, Skarmory, Zarude, Talonflame, Dracozolt, Hippowdon, Duosion, Marini, and Walrein. Oh boy, there are a lot of things to worry about with this team. Tapu Lele is just Tapu Lele. Keldeo is a great special attack breaker, or a special breaker. Skarmory is defensive, spikes, rocks, and all that. Zarude is something I personally don't know what Zarude does, since for one, I never really see it, and for two, I have never used it. Talonflame is just a beast, especially with heavy duty boots. Now that it gets to Wing Beat, it doesn't have to run Brave Bird, but it can. Dracozolt is a monster, especially since he has Hippowdon, being able to actually outspeed everything. Duosion could sweep me late game if it gets Iron Defense or a few Calm Minds up. Marini could be annoying with T-Spikes and being a little version of Toxapex, and Walrein. Again, I don't personally see Walrein coming. For me, personally, I'd say either Lele, it would, for me personally, I think Lele is coming, Keldeo is coming, Skarmory is coming, Hippowdon is coming, Dracozolt is coming, and then either a choice between Talonflame and Zarude. Though personally, I'm leaning towards Talonflame coming this week. Just because I don't have that good of switch-ins to Talonflame, and Zarude, I guess, could do some things against my team, but it kind of gets bodied by a lot of my team offensively. So that's why I'm kind of just leaning towards Talonflame. Now, for this week, I'm doing something a bit different from last week. We are doing Trick Room. So, Claydol, Leftovers, Levitate, and I actually forgot to do names. I will be right back. Alright, we got our names. Claydol Golem, Jellicent Wisp, Toxtricity back with Salamander name, Tornadus back with the Genie name, Demanitan's Bigfoot, and we're back with Ferrothorn being Mandrake, mostly because I couldn't think of anything else, and, their names already kind of fit somewhat. Alright, so we got Golem the Claydol, Leftovers. Levitate is its ability, since it's its only ability. It's a good switch into Dracozolt. It's a decent switch into Dracozolt. It could take a hit, at least. Trick Room, Teleport, Stealth Rock, Earth Power. Special Defense Investment. 252 HP. Now, Claydol doesn't have really any special attack investment, but that doesn't stop it from actually two-hitting things like Dracozolt, which is really good damage that I get on that Mon. And also it could Trick Room, it could teleport out for some momentum. It's my walker for the team. And yeah, it's just a good defensive pivot that I have for what's actually going to be going on. Now, what's right under it is a little bit of heat, alright? We have Wisp the Jellicent with Leftovers, Water Absorb, Water Spout, Scald, Shadow Ball, Trick Room. Offensive Jellicent, 252 special attack. I forgot this one. Quiet Nature, for when it gets under Trick Room. Has 252 HP to keep it bulky. Water Spout for big damage if it's at high health. Scald is for general spammage and getting burns on things. And Shadow Ball is better stab for hitting a lot of other things, plus hitting Duosion if Duosion tries to anti-Trick Room me. Then we have Toxtricity, Choice Specs, Boom Burst, Overdrive, Sludge Wave, and Volt Switch. Toxtricity actually does a lot of damage, especially if it gets under Trick Room. Then it's actually just faster than all of his offensive mons. And with no speed investment, Toxtricity is actually faster than pretty much all of his defensive mons. So Toxtricity is kind of in that sweet spot of, if it's outside of Trick Room, it still outspeeds his defensive mons. But if it's inside of Trick Room, all of his offensive mons can't really do much about it. And along with the main big damage dealers of Boom Burst and Overdrive and Sludge Wave, it also has Volt Switch for some pivoting and stuff. Genie the Tornadus, Heavy Duty Boots, Defiant instead of Prankster, because of the fact that it's our defogger, and within Psychic Terrain, if I do have Prankster, defog won't work. Knockoff, defog, air slash, U-turn. Reason why I went air slash is because I'm pretty sure Hurricane gets lowered accuracy in sand, unless it's only sun, but I still want the general like damage output of air slash instead of having to rely on Hurricane. And since this thing isn't going to be dealing much damage anyways, it's mostly going to be defog and U-turn spam, with some knockoff thrown in there. Air slash just is kind of good for just getting some damage out there and getting something out of it. If I do decide to attack. 252 HP, 232 speed, timid, which outspeeds his Keldeo, I believe. Yeah, with the rest dumped in special attack just to help out that air slash. Choice Scarf, Darmanitan, Sheer Force, Flare Blitz, Rock Slide, EQ, and U-turn. 252 attack, 252 speed, Jolly, 4 special defense. 4 special defense because we don't want our HP to be divisible by 4. Darmanitan is just a big hitter. He's a nuke outside of Trick Room, because his team doesn't really have much of a switch in to Darmanitan if I predict right. Keldeo just doesn't like to switch into Darmanitan at all. Marini gets destroyed by EQ. Walrein gets destroyed by Rock Slide. The only really good switch in he has is Hippowdon, but even at that point, that's still a lot of damage he's taking. Might force a slack off, which is good for me because then I get to switch to whatever I want. Or it's just a good time to just U-turn if it's coming in. And yeah, now here's the second bit of heat on this team. Alright, we got Choppleberry Ferrothorn with Swords Dance, Knockoff, Power Up, and Gyro Ball. 248 HP, 252 attack. Is that Bold, I think? No, it's Brave. Bold is minus defense. And 8 special defense. Now, nothing on his team can outspeed Ferrothorn within Trick Room. That is good to know. So if I get Ferrothorn under Trick Room and I get a Swords Dance off, he is going to go down. Because if Trick Room is up, Ferrothorn can come in on Walrein, can come in on Marini. It can... If Dracozolt is Scarfed, which it could be because of like some maybe Tailwind shenanigans, or something along those lines. It can come in on Skarmory, and if it's under Trick Room, it just Swords Dances on those Mons and just hits whatever's coming in for huge damage. If Tapu Lele comes in, that's an Oko. If Keldeo comes in. Gyro Ball actually does a ton of damage, even though it's resisted. Skarmory doesn't like huge damage, and knockoff getting put on it if he goes to the Rude. Then I pretty much just Gyro Ball that as well. Talonflame does not appreciate a Gyro Ball to the face. All I need is a little bit of chip, and that's an Oko. Dracozole just gets knocked off. Hippowdon, well, gets Power Whipped, and I think that's pretty much dead. Duosion gets knocked off, which it does not like. Marini gets knocked off, does not like. Gyro Ball to the face on wall range. You get it. This Ferrothorn can do a lot of damage if it's under Trick Room. Even if it's not, I'm pretty sure it could take most hits, at least once, because of its HP and bulk, especially with the Chople Berry, since a lot of his mons have fighting coverage, or just have fighting coverage, and a lot of mons on his team will be running fighting coverage, like Zarude, Lele, and Keldeo. So, yeah, I think that is the team. I'm very excited for this week. Though I have high hopes for this team. I know Lambo is a good player, so this will be very interesting. I think so, at least. Alright. Lambo. Today is the day. Wait, not Lambo, Tago. What's wrong with me? I'm saying Lambo, but I'm facing Tago. Am I facing? Yeah, I am facing Tago. I don't know what is wrong with me, guys. I am so tired. Which is honestly not a good combination if you're trying to do this. So, again, recap. Probably will be, Hippowdon, Dracozole, Lele, Keldeo, Skarm as the 5, and then probably either Talonflame, Zarude, and I could maybe see Duosion. But I think the first 5 are definitely for sure's. Ooh, boy, this will be very, very interesting to say the least, because as I've said before in the recap, we are bringing Trick Room. Oh, and Trick Room isn't exactly the easiest to play in singles. We're gonna have to play very smart, to say the least. We can't let our Trick Roomers get worn down, and Darmanitan does big damage. We have to be very smart with this, I will say, because our team is rather fragile because a lot of them are offensive. So yeah, let's find a user. There he is. Challenge. I don't think I've... Oh, that's the wrong team. I don't think I've... Yeah. Natex Draft. It's not me nicknamed a different Pokemon species than what it actually is. What? Really? Oh no. Oh no, we have to rename it. Let's call him Spaceman. Cause you know the space dolls from I think it's Japan. I don't know. Natex Draft week 2 Tago. Let's do this. Oh boy. Whew. This will be very, very interesting. Okay, everything's muted. Ugh. Okay, everything I expected. Again, I could see a Hippo lead. I could see lead Lele. Skarmory could also lead. I think the best for a Hippo Lele Skarm lead is possibly Mandrake. I could see Mandrake being very good against all these mons. Because I don't see him immediately going into Drakazult. I don't see him immediately going into Zarude or Talonflame. I could start with Darmanitan, but if he does go Hippo, that could be a problem because that's an immediate U-turn. Showing that I'm not like Life Orb or anything. I actually forgot to put all my things into Showdown, so let's do that. Refresh the page. Import. Successfully imported 6 sets. Alright, let's start with Mandrake. That seems like a good start off point. And he did go Skarmory. Okay, what I immediately do in that case is go into Spaceman. Just an immediate Spaceman. He gets up rocks. And what I do now is... do I want to Trick Room or Teleport? What comes in on Claydol? Zarude. I don't want Darmanitan taking an immediate 25%. So what I'm gonna do is Teleport. Yep, he goes into Zarude. And we're gonna go into Tornadus. And we're gonna dance around this a little bit, because I think since I'm now in Tornadus, he probably goes Drakazult or Hippowdon. So we'll go into Jellicent, or Defog actually. Defog is probably the best right now. Because if he goes into Drakazult, that means he's probably Scarfed. Let's Defog. Because this puts him in a horrible position right now. Because Zarude can't really touch. He goes into Lele. That is Scarf Lele. Because he probably thinks I'm, yeah, he probably thought I was like a prankster. So now I go into Mandrake and hope he misses a Focus Blast probably. Okay, he goes into Skarm, so we're back into this. And I'm gonna knock off in this situation. Okay, Custat Berry. What does a Custat Berry do? Wait, what does a Custat Berry do? Custat. Holders moves first in his priority bracket. Interesting. Okay. He probably switches now. So I'm gonna Gyro Ball. Oh no, he's trying to set up spikes. Okay. I'll go into Tornadus because he hasn't really seen anything on my team. Oh, Talonflame. Okay. Talonflame. Let's just say Sword Stance on my Tornadus. Flare Blitz. Brave Bird. Let's see what he wants to do. Let's Defog. Okay, he has dual Wing Beat instead of Brave Bird, and he missed. So that's unfortunate to say the least. So dual Wing Beat to our Tornadus. Dual Wing Beat does not that much actually. Bird time, so we could just knock off. Get rid of those heavy duty boots. And he goes out in the Lele. Which we then, because if he Scarf Tapu Lele, Choice Scarf, and we go into Ferrothorn and he hits us with, no, that's Tapu Bulu. Tapu Lele. Choice Scarf. Focus Blast doesn't actually do that much to us, and that is good. So we go into Ferrothorn. Future Sight, okay. So we probably click Gyro Ball now, and he goes into Talonflame, and this does 36%. Okay. Talonflame. Are you Swords Dance? Let's see how Jellicent actually takes this. Dual Wing Beat. Takes it actually really well. But I don't want to get him in right now. Claydol. Huh. This is a predicament. This is quite the predicament I am in. You know what? Let's go. Let's go into Jellicent. Roost. Oh, the Future Sight. Oh, I forgot about that. Dual Wing Beat can kill. No, it can't. I'm gonna Trick Room. I think it's time. I think it's time we actually Trick Room. U-turn, 10%. He goes into Zarude and we Trick Room. There you go. Now we go into... I think we finally go into our Ace in the Hole Toxtricity. Zarude. Let's say OU Bulk Up. How much does that do? Darkest Lariat does 50 to 58. That's fine. Let's go into Toxtricity. 70. Okay, he's choice banded. That is so choice banded. Boomburst can kill, but I'm gonna go for the 100% kill on Zarude and Hippowdon. Say physically defensive. Takes actually quite a bit from Sludge Wave as well. Oh, and he goes into Scarm. Okay, I should have Boom Bursted. We're gonna go into Claydol now. And Stealth Rock. Trick Room as well. Brave Birds. Alright, Trick Room. And then we'll teleport into Mandrake and go for it. Spikes. Let's go into Mandrake. Endure. Sword Stance. And now we kind of just get 2 kills. Yeah, we kind of just get 2 kills. Hippowdon. We are faster than Hippowdon in... Oh, geez, that just killed. Holy crap. Okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Dracozolt. Probably Scarfed. Let's sack Toxtricity. How much is Drakazole doing to like a OU Sandrush Drakazole, I guess with Life Orb, due to Claydol. Draco 41. He can survive, but it has to be like not a switch in. So we're gonna go into Salamander and sack Salamander. Fire Blast? Alright. Let's Earth Power, just straight up. Draco, we live. And Earth Power, I think, kills. Yeah, there you go. Okay, he goes into Zarude. And I don't think Spaceman is as useful anymore. So what I'm gonna do is just click Teleport just in case. Yeah. Then go into Tornadus. And click... Let's just click Air Slash. Let's get some damage off on the Lele at worst. And... yeah, flinch. Alright. Oof. Yeah, that was unfortunate. 26%. Oh, it has a eject button. Okay. So let's say Tapu Lele. Let's actually calc. Let's see how much Jellicent takes from a future site. Okay, so it's definitely Scarf. Tapu Lele. Choice Scarf. How much would Tornadus take from a Psychic? It can live. In that case, I'm defogging. Because I need these rocks off my side of the field. Also, Hippowdon from my Tornadus, like if it's just fully physically defensive. Okay, I live, get defog. And I go into Mandrake. Oh, and he goes into Zarude. This is fine, because I'm Choppel. So I kind of just take this kill. Or Zarude. Say instead of bulk up, he's close combat. Choice band. Into Ferrothorn. Does 41 to 49. Alright. Gyro Ball. Darkest Lariat, 47%. Hippo. Let's go into Genie. Just in case he tries to EQ me or something. Probably set up rocks. Maybe. Because I'm not in Trick Room, so he's faster. Slack off? That's fine. He probably can't touch me. probably. So I'm gonna do his knockoff. Oh, okay. Okay, he sets up rocks. I just defog them away. And let me see. Hippowdon from my Darmanitan does not take Flare Blitz well. So I'm gonna Flare Blitz, and if I die, I go into Jellicent. And if he doesn't go for the kill, I just get more damage off. Because I think it can be a 2-hit. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, GG. Yeah, that was unfortunate. 55%. He wasn't physically defensive. And he's EQing, so I'm gonna Ferrothorn. Power Whip, yeah. Oh, good game. Good game. That was a really good game on his part. We came back. Week 2, we came back. I'm very happy about that. That was a good win. Sort of made up for our loss last week. Yeah. Tago is a very good player. I'm glad I got to play against him. I hoped I could see Tago in the playoffs if I get there. I could see him being one of the ones that actually also makes it up there. And if he does, I'm very excited to see him. But yeah, let's go on to the follow-up if he so chooses. Hey, it's my boy Tago. How's it going?
Pretty good, Rez. Pretty good.
It was a good game, man. It was a good game.
Appreciate that. Good game to you too.
Yeah, you could see the screen and everything, correct?
I can see the screen.
Alright, so how were you thinking during the initial starting matchup?
Cool. So in my game plan right from the start, if you had Rabombi, I was thinking that I would lead Talonflame. If you had no Rabombi, I was going to lead Skarmory. Skarmory was a Custap sturdy lead.
Right.
Max attack Adamant Brave Bird. And it had Endure, Brave Bird, and then dual hazards. So my plan was to get hazards up early, force Claydol in for removal and get damage on it, force Tornadus in early and try to get some damage on it.
Right.
And then use kind of like my set of breakers to do big damage in between.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the gist of it.
Yeah, when I saw your team, because you pretty much had everything I expected. Except for you brought both Talonflame and Zarude. That was one thing I didn't touch up on during the game. I thought you'd have Keldeo, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, now that I think about it, Jellicent is just the Keldeo counter, so.
Jellicent is a good Keldeo answer. I was considering a particular Keldeo set. I thought that Talonflame was good just because I wanted defog and
right.
I could just go with my plan from there.
When I was actually thinking about the lead matchup, I was thinking more offensive. So I was either going to lead Darm, but I leant against it because of Hippo. Hippo was just a really good lead if I actually went Darm. Or Ferrothorn, which was actually a Swords Dance offensive set, max attack Adamant.
Yep.
So that's kind of how I thought of it. Those were the only two that I really thought of actually leading, because Tornadus was a support defog set, Toxtricity with specs, no speed, and Jellicent was offensive with Trick Room, and Claydol was teleport, Trick Room support.
Yep.
So
Solid.
yeah. So first turn, we kind of led with these. I
was thinking that we were gonna do the hazard handshake.
Yeah.
And then here, I thought that you might go for the rapid spin. So
Right.
I wanted to get advantage, go into Zarude.
And
Banded Zarude was a heavy hitter, no
yeah,
dark resist on your team.
and then I teleported on you,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm guessing you weren't really expecting.
Nope, was not expecting that turn. I thought that you were bringing Claydol in to clear hazards away for sure.
Yeah, no, my original plan was to, because I knew you were setting up on Ferrothorn, so I was gonna go into Claydol to either set up Trick Room or to straight up teleport, and I leant towards teleport because Zarude was kind of a free switch into Claydol.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I go straight into Tornadus, which threatens out Zarude, and I'm guessing you went Lele because you thought I was Prankster.
Yeah, so I thought that if you defogged, I'd be able to block the defog. And if you attacked, I had eject button on Hippo. I had Cuss That Berry max HP on Skarmory, so I wanted to preserve the sturdy.
Right,
So I had Cuss That Berry and I was full HP, so I wanted to preserve the sturdy. And I figured Lele was either outspeeding stuff or threatening stuff out, so I could go for this just offensive oriented play.
right. You were Scarf.
I was
You were Scarf
timid.
timid with Future Sight, which was
Yep.
interesting. Um, and then I defog. I'm guessing you weren't expecting the defog to go through,
Correct.
and I went straight back into Ferrothorn. Um, when we actually got to this turn, I was like, I was expecting the same thing to happen again. So you were to set up rocks on me. So I thought just to get whatever item on the Skarmory off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. And when I
It's
saw,
a good call.
yeah, so when I knocked off the Custat Berry, I kind of saw what you were going for. I didn't really touch up on it during the battle, but I was I was thinking that you were like a Custap Sturdy set to counter some things, I'm guessing. Or at least to get a lot
Uh,
of hazards up at once.
get that extra layer up, or to just like live a hit from toxicity, and then brave bird it and get some damage down, something along those lines.
Right. So when you set up spikes, I gyro balled you, crit 37%, because I thought you were gonna switch out on that turn. If I was gonna be
Yeah.
completely honest.
I saw that you were offensive. I thought that you might be going into Claydol, and at this point, I thought, okay, his options are he goes into Claydol to repeat that same sequence again. I get up a hazard. If he decides to go for the rapid spin, I'm just gonna brave bird him. If you went into Tornadus, I was just gonna brave bird you. I was basically just looking to get the hazard down, get some damage off.
Right.
Um,
And
and then
then
that crit actually ended up meaning that I could live the gyro wall in the end game.
right.
So
So
that was a little sad.
yeah, it was that crit was kind of unfortunate. And then when you switched, I went into immediately into Tornadus, and I looked at the couch because this Tornadus is max HP. Brave Bird didn't two hit. So
I was max attack or almost max attack adamant.
yeah,
So I think that it would have if I was Brave Bird.
if you were Brave Bird, but dual wing. I'm pretty sure. Does the SD set on Showdown not have it adamant?
No. And it's not even max attack, I don't believe.
Oh, okay, then yeah, I was looking at the wrong thing then. But yeah, dual wing beat was a definite not to hit. So
Yeah.
I thought I was just gonna defog here, cause the set I was looking at kind of made me feel safe. So getting hazards off my side was very beneficial to me. And also, you were a slow Talent Flame.
So I was Gale Wings.
Okay.
And my plan was that if I needed to in an endgame scenario, I could have a priority defog.
Right.
Or turn one, I was going to dual wing beat your Rabombi, and I wish that I had just brought Brave Bird because that miss and then just the lower damage that it would have done even if it had hit was a really big deal. But
Yeah.
the higher HP meant that I was going to be switching it into Darm and getting as much. I was avoiding the 2-hit KO like 90% of the time or
Right.
80% of the time from Flare Blitz Scarf. So
Okay.
I would like get a little bit of damage on you.
Yeah, so this Talonflame was like sort of more bulky support. If it was like bulky support with some attack, right?
It was no speed,
No speed.
almost max attack adamant, and then enough bulk to almost always avoid the 2-hit KO from Scarf Darm. Goals just
Scarfed Arm with Flare Blitz, I'm guessing.
with Flare Blitz. Rock Slide is sending it into the Nether Realm.
Oh yeah, there is no other way about it. But then I got the knockoff off and
Yeah,
got your heavy duty boots, which was kind of big, but
that was also pretty big. If I'd had 2 Brave Birds and been able to force the 2-hit KO there, it would have also been a different game potentially.
oh, I didn't click pause. So when you went into Lele, I immediately thought I would go into my Ferrothorn and hope you missed the Focus Blast if you had it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you actually have Focus Blast?
I did.
You did.
But
okay.
Scarf Focus Blast wasn't really something that I was going for.
Okay.
You wanted to rely on at this point. Like I had seen the damage that you had dealt, but Focus Blast was only 50% chance to hit twice. And then even still, if I was locked into it, I'd have to play a game of like, are you going to go into Toxtricity or Jellicent, and how am I going to deal with that?
Yeah.
But Future Sight meant that I could punish whatever the following switch in was, and so I went for the Future Sight, and then went that way.
And I went directly into Ferrothorn because unless you hit a Focus Blast, Ferrothorn is a good Lele answer. Especially because it's offensive, so it kind of just puts some pressure on just your team in general. Because unless you're going into Hippo on a Gyro Ball hit, something's taking some pretty decent damage. Like even Skarmory doesn't want to take a Gyro Ball anymore from Ferrothorn because of its HP. And you actually clicking Focus Sight here totally slipped my mind. Because when I was thinking about I think the switch in after this one into Jellicent, I completely forgot that you click Focus Sight or Future Sight, and I took a lot more damage than I wanted to. Because I was thinking, since you're in Talonflame, you could either click Flare Blitz or Dual Wing Beat. If you click Flare Blitz, I was thinking about going into Darm. But Dual Wing Beat kind of scared me out of that answer, and I didn't want Claydol to take that damage just yet. So I was thinking Jellicent was a good mid ground. But that Future Sight kind of destroyed me, if I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yeah, that was what I was going for. Didn't execute too well on the next few turns, so.
Yeah.
Like this Roost probably should have been a Dual Wing Beat. I didn't have Flare Blitz, but I was just trying to threaten having Flare Blitz.
Right.
To force the Ferrothorn out. Realistically, this should have been a U-turn to make sure that I was maintaining momentum.
Right.
Talonflame, this HP on Talonflame ended up mattering not at all. So
yeah,
it was really not ideal for me.
And then I took the Future Sight. This Jellicent was leftovers with Water Spout. So taking that Future Sight was actually really unfortunate. But it ended up working out in the end, which was nice. Because after you U-turned, I was like, I need to get a Trick Room up. And I did. So I went into Toxtricity after this, taking the Darkest Lariat. I was looking at Zarude sets. I did not think you would be Choice Banded, if I'm going to be completely honest. So I thought that damage was very unfortunate.
Yeah, it was a low roll band because I'm assuming this like max HP Trick Room Toxtricity.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Um, what was the highest roll?
low 90s.
Low 90s. Something that I did wish I went to was Ferrothorn, cause I have Choppleberry. I had Choppleberry on the Ferrothorn instead of Akka. Cause a lot of your Pokemon have fighting type coverage, right?
Hmm.
So I thought Chopple would be a lot better in that situation.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Here I was debating between clicking Poison Move or clicking Normal Move because, well, Zarude was definitely going to get switched out, but I was trying to catch the Hippo. Like, I wasn't thinking much about Skarmory because of how low Skarmory was. So, I was thinking between Boom Burst and Sludge Wave, and I thought I would just click Sludge Wave because even if Hippo came in, Sludge Wave still did decent damage. Were you specially defensive or physically defensive?
I was a little bit of a mix.
Okay,
The goal
mix.
of Hippo was like to be able to live Flare Blitz from um, Darm and to be able to eat a Boom Burst pretty comfortably from this thing.
Right.
So it was a little bit of both.
All right.
But you were specs on this?
Yeah, it was specs.
Yeah.
So
I
that,
think the play there was definitely to go for the Boom Burst,
yeah,
just because
definitely.
my
Cause I,
only resist was so low.
yeah, I would have definitely two hit that Skarmory. I think at least.
Not even two hit. It was dead.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I really wish I clicked Boomburst there. Then, cause then you would have had to actually go into something and take huge damage from it.
Yeah. I mean, it Hippo would have threatened it out the next turn, and I would have probably gotten rocks up. But even still,
I
they
actually don't think I would have been threatened because of how low it is. I would have just clicked Boomburst again.
true.
So after that, I went into Claydol. I don't really remember what I was thinking with this. I think I was trying to get rocks up at this point. I'm pretty sure. But I'm not 100% on it. Yeah, I was getting rocks up. And then when you birded, I just trick rimmed again. What were you just trying to get damage on the Claydol at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah,
Or on
that's
whatever switched in. Like everything was taking a lot of damage from a Brave Bird.
right.
The Tornadus at this point, even max HP, was going to be taking 57 to 70.
Right.
So just hit.
So after this, I'm pretty sure I teleported when you set up spikes, and I immediately went into Ferrothorn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ferrothorn threatened your entire team at this point.
Yeah. I
Um,
thought that you were going to hard switch and try to um, just get the damage down,
right.
or get the kill on Skarmory there with Iron Barbs and um, Brave Bird. So
Right.
I set up the layer of spikes, anticipating that, thinking that okay, the next turn he'll hit me. Um, and this turn I would have been able to click just Brave Bird or
Right.
anything.
And
Yeah.
I SD'd. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I SD'd.
Mm-hmm.
And now here comes the point where pretty much everything is threatened by Ferrothorn. Like, this double, I don't think mattered. The only thing that mattered was if I missed that, I'm pretty sure. Which was nice. So, you said something about the Dracozolt that was very interesting. You weren't Sandrush.
I did not add it in time, and so it hit the field,
Oh.
and I hovered over my stats, and I saw that the speed stat was not highlighted and just shown to have that like increase that they
Yeah.
have on Showdown, and I was just like, crap, this thing is useless. Like looking
I'm
back on the
guessing you
match,
were Volt Absorb.
I was Volt Absorb. Looking back on the match, it was still really, really good, and I should have kept it around because it always would have forced a kill,
Yeah,
but it was just a total flub up by me
yeah,
to throw it out in
and
a few turns.
yeah, and at least you know, threaten that you were. Actually, no, it wouldn't have threatened that you were a sand rush because you were taking sand chip.
Yeah, that would have done
So
it too. Maybe
yeah,
you wouldn't have noticed.
I didn't honestly. I just noticed this right now. Now reading it back. Um, because I'm always like, oh, you have a Dracozolt in sand. That's obviously Sand Rush. Let's not watch its HP go down in Sandstorm.
Yeah.
Um, so after this, I knew you were probably trying to get the kill on Ferrothorn because at this point, Ferrothorn has just done work to your team and it still can. Um, so I thought I was just gonna go immediately into Toxicity to get the sack, pretty much, and go
Mm-hmm.
immediately into Claydol, because this is a specially defensive Claydol, so no matter what you did, you weren't going to kill it, and Earth Power killed in return.
Yeah. My play here was always to go to Zarude. You'd shown what your moveset was. If you didn't have Earthquake or a ground move, which I could have scouted for, Zarude would have been picking up, or sorry, then Dracozolt wouldn't be threatened by this. Zarude would always pick up a kill with Darkest Lariat here,
Yeah,
no matter what you're switching into, and you are forced to click Earthquake. But in my mind, I was just like, oh, this doesn't have Sand Rush. It's not outspeeding anything. Even though it still outspeeds the majority of your team,
yeah,
um, it was just a complete blunder by me.
yeah. I would say this is probably your biggest, I guess, misplay. And I think it's one of your only misplays, but it was a big one. I can see that. But I also,
There have been a few by me so far. There have been a few.
yeah,
It's not a big.
it's really not. Like I could see where you were coming from. Like, oh, it's not Sand Rush. Like I get that way as well. Like I understand where you're coming from. So, yeah, you Draco. I eat that and then I Earth Power and it's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go into Zarude and I don't remember what I switched. Oh, I just let it die. All right, because my thinking was because Claydol was so low, doesn't really have any recovery, can't really switch into anything anymore. It was just a thing that I should just let die.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm pretty sure I go into Tornadus here because I needed hazards off my side just in case Darmanitan decides to come in. But I thought I could either do damage to Zarude and Lele or the Lele switch in, which I could have seen. Maybe even Hippowdon or get the rocks off. But the flinch was very unfortunate
Yeah.
on that
If
air
that had
slash.
gone through, I think that I probably had the game. Um, Ferrothorn would have taken the hazard damage coming in on the next turn, so it would have died to the Hippowdon Earthquake.
Yeah.
Lele was in a position where maybe it would have had to win a speed tie versus Darm, but Darm would have been taking a lot of damage from rocks and spikes and flare
Yeah.
blitz into
It, it,
the
it was definitely a speed
Hippo.
tie thing because you were definitely killing.
Yeah, but then the flinch here, I think, sealed it.
Yeah.
Um, so you get that. The next turn, I switch out into is it Hippo and
Yeah,
get
Hippo.
the. Does the eject pack finally go off?
Yep.
It does.
And then you go immediately into Lele.
Yeah.
Here I'm pretty sure I defog. I take the psychic and I defog.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure I let this thing go down.
No,
Oh,
you
did I switch? Oh yeah.
go to Ferrothorn. Yeah, it's an easy switch since you know that I'm scarfed. Good
Yeah.
call.
And I was Choppleberry here, so I was thinking if you did go to a fighting type move, which I don't know why, it was living and it lived anything else from a choice band set, so I thought I was just gonna, take this thing. Because it was doing a lot of damage to my team, so
Mm-hmm.
kinda didn't want that around anymore. And then I went into Tornadoes on the Hippo because I was pretty sure this thing couldn't touch me.
It was stupid of me not to have anything to touch you, but yeah, you're right. It was whirlwind, rocks, slack off, earthquake. So
Yeah.
there was nothing in the end.
And then I'm pretty sure I just air slap or knock off here because I thought you were going into Lele, and then I defog and you whirlwind, and I get into my Darm. Now
So
I didn't expect this. I thought I was flare blitzing into the hippo at this point.
yeah, and I actually think that this was a misplay by you because this Dharm is something that you need to have enough HP to be able to take a hit from Lele and kill Lele.
Right.
But if I had stayed in there with Hippo and clicked Earthquake on um, your Flare Blitz here, then I actually got opened back up to like winning the game from a potential crit, or if I get enough damage on the Ferrothorn that
Right.
everything dies to Psychic, then I can kind of win from there.
I'm pretty sure the reason why I allowed this thing to die was because I knew Jellicent took a hit from Lele if it didn't have Psyshock. And since you had Future Sight, I thought you didn't have Psyshock. At 41 HP, I'm pretty sure. Because it was 252.
Psychic was doing 45 to 53,
Oh, really?
assuming because the damage that Future Sight does tells me that you're probably not very specially defensive,
Yeah, no,
if
I
at
had
all.
no special defense.
So Psychic would have been able to clean up the end game at this point.
Okay. Yeah, then that was a very big misplay. Um, yeah.
So yeah, I double trying to call that. You stay into Flare Blitz, and there's just no way I can win from here.
Yeah, and that's the point where you say GG, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's game over.
So, it was a good
I
match. Yeah.
appreciate the pity differential at the end there. It's nice.
Yeah, I didn't want to take the chance, you know.
Fair enough.
But now that I think about it, yeah, I should have just went into tornadoes. um, but yeah, it was a good match. Very glad to battle against you. I honestly hope to see you in playoffs.
Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. When we play in playoffs, you're gonna catch these hands for real. I'll bring the right abilities and everything.
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Thank you, man.
No worries. Good game. See you
Good
later,
game.
dude.
See you, man. Okay, so that was it. Um, Tago's a really good player. He just got drawn a short straw when he actually went to go build his team. There were a few misplays by both of us. I was just kind of intuitively thinking a lot of that time. Um, but overall, I really like that game. Um, yeah. Um, so I guess that's it, guys. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that like button. In the description, there will be uh, a link to my Twitch as well as a lot of the other UGL guys that play. I don't know if Taco has a YouTube. I will ask, and if not, well, I guess it just won't be in there. um, yeah, guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.